Hey, look, this is Scott over here at Lifelong Realty. I wanted to reach out to you right now, just really quickly, to talk to you about the state of the real estate market right here in Central Virginia. And, over the past few years, it's been kind of interesting the way the market has been going. Certain times earlier on, it was more of a buyer's market. Houses were taking longer to sell. Buyers were coming in saying, let me get these and closing costs. I want you to leave those appliances, leave me your car, leave me your TV on the wall. And buyers were able to get all the things that they were wanting. They were able to take their time and make up their minds about the houses they were looking for. And then, after the pandemic, though, after the pandemic hit, market kind of adjusted a bit. People were being able to work from home more regularly, and so they needed to move. And then the other piece is that we were having people moving from out of our state into our area, moving from areas like North Carolina, moving from New York, moving from places that it was more expensive to live, and bringing their jobs with them here into our lower price of cost of living type of area here. And so it's brought in an influx of people right here into the Central Virginia marketplace, into Richmond and Rico, Chesterfield, even Petersburg areas have been seeing a lot of growth taking place as a result of this. And so now what has happened here with our housing market as a result of that? Well, we've seen record fast sales taking place over and over and over again. So for the past couple of years, we've had the 60-year low interest rates down below 3%. I mean, just crazy low level of low cost of money just right there for us. 3% interest rate, phenomenal rates there. And so with interest rates being lower, people moving into our area, creating a stronger demand for houses. People working from home, so they are now wanting more room to move around while they're working from home, wanting that home office, that space where they can dedicate to work while they're at home. What has happened over the past few years is that we have begun to have a shortage of inventory. We've got buyers all over the place. I mean, at certain times fighting over each other, give me this house. And I've been seeing buyers, some of them offering way up above asking price. I've seen lines of people waiting to get into a house like it was an amusement park ride. I mean, it's just crazy, ridiculous types of stuff because they wanted to make sure they could get this particular house. We've also been seeing investors coming in, renovating properties and making the properties look amazing, taking care of it, putting a new roof, new floor, new countertops, just doing everything in it. And so buyers only have to just move into a house. They don't have to do anything else. And of course, if you can just move in, you're willing to pay a little bit more than if it was something you had to move in, fix it up, and do the work yourself. So we've been seeing people almost fighting over getting into the houses. And so what has that been doing over house prices? We got supply and demand taking place here. When the supply is getting lower and the demand is getting higher, what's happening is now driving those house prices through the roof. And that's what we've been seeing happening over the last couple of years here. We've been seeing double-digit increase of house prices, period. Double-digit percentage increase in house prices. And so we've been seeing homes selling, like I said, within days of hitting the market. But now what's happened this year? Here, the end of this year, rates have started going up. And as rates are going up, we're seeing the demand for houses kind of come down a little bit. Now they're still up. Just to be straightforward with you, it's still a strong demand. We still actually have a shortage of inventory, even though our inventory is increasing. The days on the market is increasing a bit. However, house prices are still going up, but they're not going up like this now. They're just maybe going up more like this. So it's a more of a gradual increase that's taking place in the house prices rather than them just going up and going through the roof the way that they've been doing. Shooting to the moon, some people would say. So right now we have interest rates been increasing and increasing and increasing and increasing. And unfortunately, I'm not thinking that they're done with the increase of interest rates. I'm seeing a lot of pressures on the market right now trying to drive that rate up even higher. Now, there's some pressures and some forces trying to keep it down in place. So, of course, unfortunately, it's hard to predict exactly what interest rates are going to do. Yet I am seeing a lot of pressures still in place. They've been there for a while, really trying to drive these interest rates up. And of course, they want to drive the rates up. What they say here in the government not long back, they say they're going to continue to raise interest rates until inflation comes into alignment. And so inflation is still high. So what does that mean they're going to do? They're going to increase interest rates, plain and simple. And so there's a lot of pressures there to drive those rates higher. And what is that going to do? That's going to, and just to make that in clear terms, with the rate being higher, that means there's less house a buyer can buy with the same monthly payment. Does that make sense? So because the interest rate is higher, the payment is higher, which means you can't qualify for as much of a house. And so if you're out here right now and you're looking for a house, maybe you were trying to find a house earlier this year, and because there was so much competition out here, maybe it was just like, you know what, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait. Now the challenge in waiting is already started presenting itself because of the increase of interest rates. But again, I feel like it's not done yet. I believe the rates will continue to rise. And so as the rates continue to rise, your buying power begins to shrivel up and it almost just dies, unfortunately. And so what I recommend to anybody that's watching this right now, if you're thinking about buying a house, especially if you're buying a larger house, now is the time to do it now. Because house prices are no longer skyrocketing, they're still increasing though. What does that mean? That means that if you wait for this same house till next year, you're going to end up paying a higher price for the house a year from now, compared to being able to just buy it now and start building your equity with these rates the way that they are now compared to having a higher rate, higher house price. You want to make sure you step out and make that purchase right now. The sooner you make the purchase, the sooner you're creating equity for yourself, the sooner you're positioning yourself to begin to create wealth for yourself, the sooner you're positioning yourself just to be in the energy of abundance. Because we all know that whenever we're taking a step forward, the universe, God, will do another step, say, oh, you're ready. You're right. And so he's going to present more things for us to step forward in. So it's important for us to take those steps, the sooner the better, so that we can begin to catapult ourselves forward in the advancement of abundance, of wealth, of happiness, of peace, to get ourselves moving boldly into the new future that God has already prepared for us. So as a buyer, you do want to move sooner rather than later. Now, as a seller, some sellers, I talked to a seller earlier this morning that will say, well, Scott, I'm seeing on the news that it's a horrible time to sell your house. Well, I want you all to keep in mind, though, that when you're watching the news, what is it? It's the national news. They're talking about the real estate market all over the country. Well, even back in 2007, when we had the largest real estate crash ever, the Richmond, Virginia, the Central Virginia market fared out pretty well compared to the rest of the country. Did we have houses on the market longer than usual? Yes. But were homes still selling? Most definitely. People were still buying houses, and so our values did not drop like it did for the rest of the country. And the same thing I believe is happening right now. I'm still seeing that home prices will continue to increase, but again, at a much, they're kind of leveling off a bit. Rates may go up some more and it might level them off a little bit more, but I don't really see a decline in that. Actually, let me share this with you. When we're looking at a buyer's market or a seller's market, the definition there comes in that if it's 3 to 6 months of inventory, we're in a neutral market. If it's more than 6 months of inventory, we're in the buyer's market. Buyers get to go out and, again, like they were in the past, saying, pay my closing costs, give me your TV, give me your Mercedes that you got sitting in the driveway. They were able to ask for all of these different things if it's in the buyer's market where homes are taking more than 6 months to sell. It's a seller's market, however, when it's less than 3 months of inventory. Now, because we were in such a crazy strong level of a seller's market where it was just days to sell, it feels kind of weird now that we're at maybe 2 to 3 weeks, depending on where you are here in Central Virginia. It might be 2 to 3 weeks of inventory at the most in your area right now. And then maybe that might increase to 30 to 60 days, who knows, over the next few months. But still, 30 to 60 days is still a strong seller's market because it's less than 3 months of inventory. It's taking less than 3 months to sell your house if you decide to put your house on the market right now. It just feels a little different because we've been coming off of days of inventory. Does that make sense? We were coming off of days of inventory. However, I remember when I first got into real estate, and we was looking at the amount of inventory then as I was kind of getting acclimated to the market. Could you believe it was 18 months of inventory? It was taking the average house about 18 months to sell, which is just ridiculous. It was ridiculous. I did not want to work with a seller back then at all because it was just taking so long to actually sell a house. And I mean, I had to advertise and spend that money month after month after month after month after month. And by the time it did sell 18 months later, it was barely even making enough, if I did, to say I earned some money. So back at that time, I focused my efforts on working with buyers. And I learned everything I needed to know about representing the buyer, how to save the money, how to find different types of financing, how to negotiate to get their cash out of pocket down. Just a lot of different things, a lot of strategies and systems to represent buyers. Now, as the market began to adjust, I was able to take those strategies and systems that I learned with buyers and be able to flip that over to work with sellers. And so now I'm able to take a house in any kind of market and get it sold right away. There's certain systems and strategies that we can put into place to ensure that your home sells for top dollar if you're ready to get your home sold. If you're ready to purchase a home, or maybe you just sold this house and you're buying another one, we'll use our systems and strategies to help you on the other side to make sure we're negotiating you a really good price, a good deal on the purchase side of that as well. Right now, for you to make a move. Right now is a phenomenal time for you to move from where you are to where you actually choose to be. Look, at any moment, be comfortable reaching out to us. You've got questions, we've got answers. DM me, just whatever. Just send me your questions. The real estate market is strong right now. Instead of you going out there trying to get information from cousin Jimmy or somebody that doesn't really know anything about real estate, be comfortable reaching out to me. I'm in this industry every single day, looking at the market, studying the market, working within the market, negotiating within the market. Come to me, ask the questions, DM me. We're right here ready to help you. Look, have a phenomenal day. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video. We'll chat soon. Enjoy.